All right, let's talk about something we all think we understand, freedom. But what if breaking the chains we can see is, I don't know, just the easy part? What if the real, gutsy journey is just having the courage to be yourself? Let's dive in.
So, let me ask you straight up. Are you truly free? I mean, yeah, you're probably not in actual physical chains, but are you absolutely sure that your mind is your own? Let's really dig into that. See, according to the philosopher Osho, we've kinda got it wrong. Freedom isn't just one big, simple idea. It's more like a journey, a progression through three really deep, distinct dimensions, and each one gets us a little bit closer to who we actually are.
So, to really understand freedom, we have to start with its exact opposite, slavery. And we're going to start with the most obvious layer, right? The chains you can literally see. But then, more importantly, we're going to talk about the ones you can't.
Okay, so there's a really important distinction we need to make right off the bat. On one hand, you've got physical freedom. This is what we all think of, right? Freedom from slavery, from discrimination. It's the basic right that says your body is your own. But then, there's psychological freedom. And this is all about the chains we carry around inside our own heads. It's about breaking free from all those ideas and beliefs that were handed to you, the ones you never really truly chose for yourself.
And these are the invisible bars of our mental cages. I mean, think about it. From the moment we're born, we're handed a whole set of beliefs about religion, politics, society, how we're supposed to act. We're basically told what to think instead of being taught how to think. And this is what Osho calls borrowed knowledge. It's all the stuff we carry around, the opinions from our social media feeds, the rules from our communities, that isn't actually from our own lived experience. It's not our truth. So you have to ask yourself, as long as my mind is just an echo chamber of other people's voices, am I really truly free?
All right, and this is where it gets really interesting, because we run right into a huge paradox. We all say we want freedom, right? But what if, deep down, most of us are absolutely terrified of it?
I mean, why on earth would anyone choose a cage? Why would we cling to the very things that hold us back? Well, because a cage is safe. It's secure. And most importantly, it lets you off the hook from something truly terrifying. Responsibility.
And you know, this isn't some newfangled idea. The existentialist philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre nailed it when he said that man is condemned to be free. Sounds like a total contradiction, doesn't it? But what he meant was, you can't escape it. You can't escape the fact that you have to choose. We are responsible for every single choice. And that level of total responsibility, man, it can feel like a curse.
Just look at the trade-off here. Slavery, and remember, that can be mental too. It gives you certainty. It gives you security. Someone else makes the rules. Someone else is responsible. If it all goes wrong, hey, not my fault. But freedom. Freedom means you're standing alone in a sea of uncertainty. Every choice, every success, and yeah, every failure, it's all on you. And wow, that is a heavy, heavy weight to carry.
Osho tells this great story about a parrot that spent its entire life in a cage just squawking one word over and over, freedom, freedom. Then one day, someone felt sorry for the bird, walked up and just opened the cage door. But the parrot didn't fly out. In fact, it just gripped the bars of the cage even tighter, totally terrified of that huge open sky. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? We talk a big game about freedom, but when the door to our own cage finally swings open, do we actually have the guts to fly?
Okay, so if fear is the lock on our cage, then what's the key? The answer, it turns out, lies in a really crucial shift, moving from unconscious reaction to conscious action. Let's break that down. When somebody insults you and you instantly get angry, who's really in control? They are, right? They pushed your button and you just responded automatically, like a machine. That's a reaction. But true freedom, what we're calling action, is found in that little gap, that tiny space between what happens to you and how you respond. It's that moment where you can pause, become aware, and actually choose how you're going to be. That's power.
There's a famous story about the Buddha that just illustrates this perfectly. So a man comes up to the Buddha and just starts hurling insults at him, just relentlessly. And the Buddha, he just sits there, listening peacefully, not reacting at all. Finally, the man runs out of steam, and the Buddha asks him a really simple question. He says, "Friend, if you offer a gift to someone and they don't accept it, who does that gift belong to?" And the man, a little confused, says, "Well, it belongs to me, of course." The Buddha just smiles and says, "Exactly. And I do not accept your insults." That, right there, is the power of action.
He chose not to let someone else control his inner.
And all of this brings us to the final, and you could say the highest, dimension of freedom. Because it's not just about what you're free from, it's about what you are free for.
You see, breaking out of your chains, that's freedom from. And that's essential, but it's only step one. The real adventure is freedom for. It's literally the difference between just breaking out of the cage and actually learning how to soar in that vast open sky. It's the big question. Now that you're free, what are you going to do with it? What will you create? How are you going to express the unique person that you are?
This is really the peak of the mountain. In many Eastern traditions, they call it moksha, or spiritual liberation. And what it is this deep, profound realization that you are not your body, and you're not even your mind with all its conditioning and chatter. You are the silent, aware consciousness that just witnesses it all. And that is an inner freedom that absolutely nothing and no one can ever take away from you. Not even death.
So, after this whole journey through all these layers and dimensions, we land on a beautifully simple truth. The ultimate act of courage, the most profound rebellion you could ever stage, and the real true meaning of freedom is simply to be yourself, authentically, unapologetically, and with full awareness.
And so, we're going to end right back where we started, with a question for you. Because this isn't just some abstract philosophy, right? It's a real, practical path. So I want you to look at your own life. Right now, look at the invisible bars of your own cage and ask yourself, what is the very first chain that you're going to choose to break?